We have our patent medicine practitioners around us. There was a particular year, that was when I was like maybe 2-3 years into community practice. There is this most patent medicine about 50 meters to me. He was doing all sorts. He sells as far as Lexotan, poisons, name it. He injects, he treats. They see him as the messiah of the community. I reported this case to the then PICs before they came for inspection. What they told me was shocking. They were like, madam, don't worry. My co-pharmacist, my senior colleagues were like, madam, don't worry. He's a family man. He's a family man. You just have to overlook some things. You will sell your own. Just make sure you are complying, you are this. And they left him. It was this last PIC people that came about 2 weeks ago that locked up his premise for the first time. And the reason why they even locked it up was not because of all the malpractices he's doing. He has a room inside. I know the room where he stores all those things. You can never get to his shop for inspection and get any ethical on his shelf. We are the ones around that we know them. If the PICs are working with us, we expose them. They locked him because he didn't renew his license. He went as far. There was even there was a particular time that everybody in my environment were like, they will come to me and they will be telling me that my chairman said, the person they are referring to as my chairman is the patent medicine dealer. My chairman said they should return a drug. My chairman said I sold fake. I said, who is my chairman? It was as bad as that. After spending almost 8 years at Obafemi Awolowo University at the School of Pharmacy. It is saddening. It is very, very sad. And that one is that I thank God I passed through all those periods successfully. But a lot of families, we are not financially stable. And it's not right. After spending so many years at the university, keep it on the level.
Keep it on the level. When we talk of career opportunities, there are so many things that we need right on the edge. You come out, you have spent 3-4 years somewhere, that you know where you're going. You know, at least, at the very most, in your final year, you should know where you want to go. And there are personal experiences, personal stories, you know, to back this up, such that some of the things that we are observing now, you know, ideally it should not happen to anybody. If you set out to be in academia, you already know what it entails, or you should know what, you know, the demands are. Now, if you set out in the community, for instance, you should know the text. You should know that you will be in competition that you may not be able to control. Let me use as an anchor, you know, the audio complaint of a pharmacist, of a community pharmacist. Incidentally, I had the privilege of teaching the same, you know, pharmacists who are the audio control. I mean, audio viral message. Now there are a lot of things to bring out from this. If you use it as a standard, as a yardstick, or as a template, or as a stepping stone, you know, to the discourse. The first thing is, yeah, the Chinese have a proverb. They said, whereas you cannot prevent a bird from flying over your head, but you can prevent it from perching on your head.
So how do we actually do this?
Yes, one thing, you do your bit, you enable others to do, you know, their necessities or the necessary things. Exactly how to do this is this. Remember, at different fora, we have been talking about, you know, scaling up, doing a lot of things, doing this, doing that, making professional services available, you know, as a whole. And so be different from a trader, such that if you are doing your very best, yes, let that person who wants to buy 4 capsules of tetracycline go away. You know, somebody will come, the person will air the story later that will make him to come. There used to be women drugs at 7 Badulaye in the 80s and in the 90s. I was part of the group on, pro bonus basis, because all of us were classmates. I am in academia, they were in community, and I would come on a Wednesday, attend to patients. It's not important that you should buy, that you make a purchase on that day and at that point, but you will definitely come back to come and make your purchases.
Thank you so much, Dr. Olaiwola. I appreciate that contribution. I also have another person in the house, Dr. Arinola Joda. She is the head of the department, clinical pharmacy and biopharmacy from the University of Lagos. She has been involved extensively in operational research studies in pharmacy practice, including working with community pharmacists. So I quite appreciate our contributions on this particular issue, especially the regulatory deficit. Dr. Jordan, over to you.
Thank you for our regulation to overpopulation by quacks and traders, to pharmacists themselves not providing adequate professional services to their clients. This, of course, has led to a situation where there's almost no difference between the practices run by pharmacies and those run by traders and quacks. The way to differentiate yourself as a pharmacist definitely would be to provide exceptional professional service, to educate your clients, to provide patient counseling as they need it. If I'm a patient and I want to buy XYZ item, for instance, and I have an option of 2 locations. One is owned by a pharmacist, one is owned by a trader. And the prices are the same, and I'm not getting any different service. The prices are different, but I'm getting the same kind of service and approach from the 2 facilities. Then it makes sense for me to go to where the drug is cheaper. And that is the important thing for in this, especially in this environment where everybody pays out of pockets for everything that they need. There's no social insurance, there's no health care management from any source that you can adequately rely on. So that's providing that professional service is key to running out your competition. I know of several pharmacies that, yeah.
If you look at that particular audio, she actually complained about limitations, especially for patent practitioners and community pharmacists. What is your view?
Patent medicine vendors should, by now, really be limited in their scope of locations to practice. I believe that the Pharmacists Council owes pharmacists a duty of care in that regard, that in these particular locations that are saturated with pharmacies, the patent medicine dealers in those places should be relocated out of those places because there is sufficient pharmaceutical services in those areas. The point that is usually made by the management, when I say management, I mean government, I mean regulators, is that there are not enough pharmacies to go around. So in the cases where you have locations where there are enough pharmacies, there is no reason to still allow those patent stores to continue to operate. I believe that once it's time to renew their licenses, the council should do an inspection of the location that they're in. And once they're satisfied that there is enough pharmacy presence in that area, then they should convince those, it's not even convincing, they should order those patent medicine stores to move to other locations. And that means that the council should have a list of areas that need pharmacy services that they can mandate these patent medicine stores to move to. I believe that is something that is feasible and is doable, because the council is responsible for regulating their practice as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joda, for that invaluable contribution. I'm sure your observations are quite noted. We also have pharmacist Kunle Tumetu in the house. He is the Vice President and pharmacist in charge of Total Care Pharmacy, Dallas, Texas. He is an experienced managing partner with a demonstrated history of working for success in the pharmaceutical industry. I'll now call on pharmacist Kunle Tumetu to speak on how to exploit these opportunities in pharmacy as a career. You have 5 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I want to recognize my teacher, Dr. Bassman, and Dr. Arniola. She's a friend of mine on Facebook. I've never seen her before, but it's my pleasure to meet you here, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I prepared some slides. I didn't know that these were the attendees that I'll be speaking to this morning. But having said that, I would discuss those slides and just attend to the questions as it is posed. Caveat emptor here, I never saw that video. I don't know what it's about, but I have an idea of the pressure on pharmacists' employability at this time. It's the same opportunity that we see here, where the pharmacist employers, typically big pharmacy chain stores, are no longer growing as fast as they used to grow. In the days when I was a district and region manager for the big corporation CVS pharmacies, we used to build in a district of about 30 stores. I used to have about 60 stores. We used to build about 5-6 stores a year. But now the pressures on income, on reimbursement, on these corporations force them to pull back. Because of that, there are not enough spaces for the pharmacists that are being graduated. And we have so many proliferation of pharmacy schools now that we have too many pharmacists. Having said that though, in the days I used to manage so many stores, what I noticed about the pharmacists when they come out of school is that they do not have skills that is needed for them, typically leadership, management, and people skills that is necessary for them to start operating a pharmacy. So oftentimes when we get them, we have to go back and organize another 2-3 weeks of training just to get them to be able to communicate effectively, to be able to lead effectively, to be able to counsel effectively, because these things were missing. I don't know if I'll post this back to Dr. Ariola and Dr. Bassman. Are these things being incorporated in the curriculums in pharmacy schools? Are people being taught? Are they being taught how to think outside the box? That pharmacy itself, the education you get, is just a commodity for you to be able to move forward in life and make something out of it. It's not a key to success, as it were. You have to develop other skills. You have to get more education. I'm 53 years old now. I just finished a doctorate degree. I just finished a PharmD, because I thought I needed more education. I've taken a ton of certificate in management and leadership, and our people need to be educated on this. In most pharmacy schools here in America, in order to combat this, what they've done is most of them are offering dual degrees. We have degrees that is PharmD JD, that is PharmD and a law degree. We have degrees that are PharmD MBA, meaning that these guys, once they get out of school, they can go into any area of practice. It's not necessarily retail, not hospital. It could be anywhere. They could affect immediately, actually leave and go work for Coca-Cola. We have other degrees that is attached to the pharmacy degree. And all of those courses run concurrently as when the student is in pharmacy school. So when they get out of school, they're more around.
Let me button here, Dr. Tometi. Are you saying that there should be a review of the curriculum? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Are you calling for a review of the curriculum? Because you've spent 7 years in school already studying pharmacy.
Yeah, I think a review of the curriculum to take into consideration the modern challenges that pharmacists face in the job market, in the practice, as alluded to by Dr. Arinola a few minutes ago, those things should be added into the curriculum. And we should look further than just the chemistry, the math, the physics, and the sciences of the pharmacy practice. We should incorporate things that make our people, make our pharmacists ready for the tough and challenging work environment now, so that they can easily navigate and be able to find their space within any opportunities that's available.
Thank you so much, Pharmacist Tometi. That is quite thought-provoking, and I'm sure that your observations are being noted. I will now call on Pharmacist Mojisola Aladesomi. She is Zonal Coordinator for the Yaba Ibutemeta Shomolu Zone of the Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria, Lagos chapter. She will speak on tackling common challenges that Nigerian pharmacists daily contend with. Over to you, Pharmacist Aladesomi.
All right. Thank you so much, moderator. Thank you so much, my colleagues. I think I'll just go straight to the point. I want to start by appreciating what everyone has said. And for me, I'll be referring to the conversation, the voice notes. I want to bring out first that I totally don't agree with the fact that patent medicine stores and wholesalers are the problems of pharmacy. No, no, it's how you look at it. Like the last speaker said, there's so much more out there. There's so much that is involved in you being successful, you being fulfilled. Because if I recall, the speaker, the voice note that was going round, the first thing she said was that she didn't find the profession fulfilling. So it depends on an individual. What do you mean by being fulfilled? What makes you successful? So there are challenges everywhere. There are challenges everywhere. Like the last speaker also said, there are a lot of skills that you need to succeed. And that is where all the challenges we are having in pharmacy are coming from. When you lack leadership skills, when you lack people's skills, when you lack management skills, even financial skills, you are going to have a problem because, hello, this is a business. If your business is not thriving, then there is nothing to practice. If your business, it's a business. You come to the retail sector, it's a business. Yes, you are a professional, but hello, this is a business. And you need a lot of skills to succeed in business. Do you know your numbers? So it depends, a lot of challenges. I can start with funding. You don't necessarily have to have so much money. There are a lot of things, bookkeeping, basic things, you knowing your numbers. How do you know, are you breaking even? What does it entail? Can you look, sit down and say, okay, this is how much is coming in. This is what my costs are. How much do I need to make each day to meet up all the overhead? Am I making profit? Are you assessing yourself every month, every year, every quarter, as the case may be? Do you understand the dynamics of retail business? So those are things we need to go into. And don't forget, this is healthcare. And I wonder sometimes when we say, oh, the patent medicine stores, the wholesalers, hello. They have some of the things that we need to learn from. The patent medicine store is available. Don't forget, for healthcare, we need it to be affordable We need it to be accessible. Most pharmacy stores are closed by the time a patient probably wants to access them. Some of these patent medicine stores, they sleep in their shops. They are open as early as 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. They close late in the night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Some of them are in the interior. Some of them are ready to sell with very little markup, all right? And because they count on volumes, which are the dynamics we need to learn. We need to study all those kind of things and see. But when you say challenges, there's so many things. So I will say that apart from pharmacy schools introducing some of these courses, the association could add value. That, okay, when we meet, what do we learn? Can we learn other skills? Now we're talking of technology. I will tell you, a lot of members don't even know how to operate Zoom. No, I'm telling you, even to go on Zoom, it's a big challenge. A lot of pharmacists are not...
Pharmacist Aladesomi, let me pause on here. You have talked about the role of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. But right in school, is there a place for entrepreneurship training, all this computer literacy to be added to the curriculum?
Yes, I know it will start, but right now it's not just for the future pharmacists. We also have those who have graduated, who are no longer in school. There are schools that are available, like business schools around. You just have to pay for it. You could learn. There are a lot of online courses that are free. I have a certificate in data analysis. I'm a member of CITN. There are a lot of things you could learn that could help your business.
All right.
So it's not just for the students. What about those that are finished? Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have to move on to Pharmacist Ajibade now. He is the community pharmacist. What is your input in all of this? Pharmacist Ajibade.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And just like many of my colleagues have actually enumerated the challenges, well, I will put it in 2 or 3 perspectives. Number one, the curriculum must readily be realistic. As we are entering new challenges, we must always also have a curriculum review that matches the new challenges that we are operating in. A situation whereby the chemistry that I learned in school 20-something years ago is the same chemistry that is being taught in school now, and a certificate is being awarded on that, automatically something has changed. We may be looking at the chemistry in those times as the natural chemistry, but by and large, we must be looking at the chemistry as it affects life, and what are the other things and developments that has taken place in other endeavors of life, in other industries, in other professions. That is one of the things. So I will support the fact that our training should be realistic with the situation that we have found ourselves. Number 2, pharmacy, being a profession, cannot be said to be entirely a business. It's a social service which government knows that people must have access to quality health. So for me, I believe strongly regulation has a very good role to play. We must properly allow regulation to position the pharmacy practice in a manner that allows pharmacists to practice and to practice with a lot of comfort. For example, I'm not seeing any reason why community pharmacy cannot be adopted as a public healthcare center. We know government is spending so much on public health services in Nigeria. And I can tell you, if a community pharmacy that is located in our various neighborhoods is adopted and is among those public health centers that people are having access to, and government has a little remuneration for the pharmacy who are in the public sector have access to a very good health services.
Now, thank you very much, our moderator. Call for action. 2 parts to it for me. One for those in school, as Dr. Olaiwola was pass across. the move to family curriculum will address some of the issues of confidence, of communication. Well, actually, to answer Dr. Teach courses on communication skills, counseling, medication therapy management to help the students with confidence and in communicating with clients and patients. We also take courses in pharmacy administration to prepare them as for their roles in setting up businesses and all that. For those that are already graduated, one thing is that as pharmacists, we need to see ourselves as lifelong learners. We need to realize that, for the second thing, that we're in this profession both as a service and as a business. So we need to be able to balance the two. And community pharmacy, I believe, is not for everybody. So it's not just, oh, I think I want to make money through community pharmacy. So that may not be something that you can achieve in the short run, and then you get frustrated. So you really need to be sure of where you fit in the pharmacy cycle, because there are so many paths to pharmacy. You don't have to. There are various other things that you can do with yourself as a pharmacist. And you have basic tools that you have learned in school. And that is why pharmacists doing well in Coca-Cola, in the banks, they're doing very well in the ICT industry. They're doing very well in so many other industries, as well as those that are doing very well in pharmacy itself. So as a person, you need to know what works for you and work it very well. For those that are into community pharmacy and they don't seem to be making a headway, another opportunity for them would be to go into partnerships. You don't have to be a single person managing the business when you do not have the skills, or you don't have the finances, or you don't have something that somebody else could provide. You could go into partnership, of course, with the caveat of having a lawyer actually putting you through the rules so that everybody is guided as to their rules. You know, so there are many things that we can do to ensure that our pharmacy practice booms and to ensure that we're comfortable in our chosen careers and in our chosen field.
Thank you so much, Ma. We quite appreciate
to know what works for them and to work it, not just be, I must do this or I must do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ma. We quite appreciate. I'll move on now to pharmacist Kunle Tumete for his own call for action and the global best practices. You are on, sir.
Thank you very much, my moderator. And I want to say that Ms. Aladesomi, she hit on some points that were very, very pertinent to me, as well as the Dean, Dr. Arniola. First thing for me is continuous education, continual training. Each of us must commit as professionals, as pharmacists, to this profession that has given us a lot. What we're saying about curriculum change may not happen in 10 years, but we can influence that as practitioners with a ton of experience. In Ife, today, I have led a drive for the university, and they've just approved it, to have adjunct lecturers, where alumni of the faculty take up that position and come in and share their life experiences in a didactic fashion, teaching the students really what goes on in the practice outside of the school walls. Exactly. And we think this is going to help prepare the students. And we also believe that the lecturers and the teachers, the professors there too, will learn one or two things from having a vantage point of looking at what is actually happening outside of the school environment from which they've been forever. I always want to put a caveat here to let the teachers and lecturers amongst us, wherever we're gathered and discussing this, that we're not knocking their effort at all. What we're trying to do really is to help supplement their effort so that we have a more rounded professional when they leave the school. The second thing I'll talk about is those of us who have tenured in a long time, we should begin to promote mentor-mentee relationship. Pick up one or two young pharmacists or even a student and commit to being their mentor in their life of practice of pharmacy. When you mentor one person or two, you cannot imagine the impact you will have on their life in their professional practice going forward. And it gives you a smaller opportunity to really impact and train that person to the best of your ability, more than sitting in a class of 120 people. The third and the final point I'll say is this is a great opportunity for all our schools. Pharmacist Aladesomi talked about, she has a certificate in computer technology, I think. What happened to our schools taking advantage of making income and producing these online short courses for pharmacists to continue to improve their competencies? If the University of Lagos, or the University of Ife puts out all these different competencies like entrepreneurship or life skills, computer technology use, leadership courses, that pharmacists in their stores can log in for 1 hour and get that course done, get a certificate, pay the school 1,000 naira, 5,000 naira for that course, is the income for the school, and it also grows the competencies of the pharmacy in practice. I rest my case.
Thank you so much, sir. We quite appreciate you for that invaluable contribution. I'll now call on pharmacist Busola Aladesomi for her call for action and policy direction for pharmacists. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. I must say, Pharmacist Kunle, that was awesome. You brought out some of my points. I was actually going to talk about mentorship and all that. I was also going to talk about continuous education, trainings, and all that. That will be relevant to what we have on ground. I would say if PCN could look at the MCPD that we have to do every year, can it be more relevant to our practice? Can we incorporate these things? So instead of you going there, you're still talking about, yes, updates on anti-malaria and all that. We can get enough of that online. But let's have something that PCN is like, okay, we recognize this is a challenge. What can we do? And we bring the best to come and teach us and all that. I agree totally with the schools also doing a lot of these things. And I would say, in addition to all that, that the regulatory bodies should look at our law, please. I don't know if you're aware, our laws only regulate pharmacists. Our laws does not regulate all the people that are encroaching. What are we doing about that? There is a call for action in that area, and it's so, so, so urgent. More than ever, we need it now. There is so much to do online. We see a lot of restriction on the online business. We need to be up there. We need to be out there as pharmacists. A lot of people go online and get all manner of information, you know, about this. We need to look at the regulation on online. You going online, not that you're advertising, but you could do short clips. I would let you know that a lot of people don't want to tell them, oh, take this drug twice a day. If you as a pharmacist go online and educate people that, oh, when somebody tells you take your drug twice a day, it means take it every 12 hours or 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know when to take their antibiotics. What if we go online, do an Instagram, you know, have something or they could chat with you? But you see, 90% of pharmacists are not tech savvy. They don't even know. So I think these are things we should include in the curriculum, in the MCPD, and all that. And then the regulation. That is a way to go for me. Thank you so much.